Hello, HCC. We're back into our Gospel of John diagramming, and we'll be looking at chapter 1, verse 32 to 34. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me read this. It says, John testified, saying, I have seen the Spirit descending as a dove out of heaven, and he remained upon him. I did not recognize him, but he who sent me to baptize in water said to me, He upon whom you see the Spirit descending and remaining upon him, this is the one who baptizes in the Holy Spirit. I myself have seen and have testified that this is the Son of God. Okay. There's a lot of pronouns here, so it can be a little confusing, but not too much. There's really three characters here. You have John the Baptist, you have the Holy Spirit, and you have Jesus. And then also, there's actually fourth, there's the one who sent John the Baptist. Okay. As you can see, I have put John and any reference to him in pink, and then Jesus in blue. And so let's go ahead and get started. As you know, I will be chopping up the different sentences in different parts. John testified, saying, and everything else after is what he says. Okay, in verse 32 to 34, it's everything that he says. So I'm going to go ahead and chop the next part. I have seen the Spirit descending as a dove out of heaven, and he remained upon him. I did not recognize him, but he who sent me to baptize in water said to me. So now from here, we see that there's going to be another quote. All right. He upon whom you see the Spirit descending and remaining upon him, this is the one who baptizes in the Holy Spirit. I myself have seen and have testified that this is the Son of God. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and indent everything because he says it's a statement. It's something that he says. He says, I have seen the Spirit descending as a dove out of heaven, and he remained upon him. So this conjugation is, joining two main ideas, that the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, descended and remained upon Jesus. So I'm going to show this with a line here. This is what he says. I have seen the Spirit descend, and here's the pronoun for the Holy Spirit, and he remained upon Jesus. Okay. Here's something else that John testifies, verse 33. He says, I did not recognize him, but the one who sent me, the God the Father who sent me to baptize in water, and he quotes what the Father says. He, upon whom you see the Holy Spirit descending and remaining upon him. So notice what John the Baptist said here in verse 32 is really he's saying what he saw, but he's also repeating what God the Father had told him, that he would see the Holy Spirit descend and remain upon Jesus, the Messiah. And so we're going to go ahead and show that these two thoughts of Holy Spirit descending and remaining, okay, with this line here. And so ultimately, this is the one who will baptize. So Jesus will be the one who baptizes people in the Holy Spirit, okay? And the one, you'll know that this is the one who baptizes in the Holy Spirit when you see the Holy Spirit descending and remaining upon him. And this is how John the Baptist knows that Jesus is the Christ, because he sees the Holy Spirit descend and remain upon him. Here is the last statement. Remember, this is John the Baptist, his testimony. This is what he says. Lastly, in verse 34, he says, I myself have seen and have testified. So there's two things he does here. He sees and he testifies. So we're going to go ahead and show that with a line and this conjugation here. Okay? And so that's pretty much it. This is our passage. And let me go ahead and conclude here with one real main thought. What you see here is the Holy Spirit, he comes upon Jesus, and it says in the form of a dove, right? It's not maybe perhaps a literal dove, but something like a dove comes upon Jesus, and it's the Holy Spirit. And then what's particular about Gospel of John is that it says the Holy Spirit remained upon him. The other Gospels, after this episode, Jesus is filled with the Holy Spirit, and he will be led to the desert to fast for 40 days. And so it's my assumption here that when he is baptized, the Holy Spirit remains upon Jesus. This is how he is filled with the Holy Spirit. And then he goes to the desert, fasts for 40 days, and then he comes out with the power of the Holy Spirit. This is my last thought here, that we need to be filled with the Holy Spirit. As Christ was, we need to be as well, as someone who is filled with the Holy Spirit. And that's my one request for you this week. Be filled with the Holy Spirit. Okay, bye.